Well, welcome to Paulette's Paper Play, and today I'm doing Wingman. This is a collection from Photo Play, and we have so many requests for masculine things, so that just makes it fun. And I'll show you what I designed and why I did it in this webisode. And here is one of the cards, so you can see this with the hammered gold. Okay, won't you please come play with us? Okay, before I get into the projects, let me just show you what's here. Now, this is a collection of 30 die cuts, and it does show them on the back, so that's convenient. And they're already die cut out, and so using many of the patterns that are here, the plaid, the dot, and so forth. And here are the 12 by 12 papers, and you're going to get a total of 12 sheets, and you're going to get 2 of each. So let me just show them to you very quickly. This is just the beginning of it. And in this set, you also get some stickers. So here's one sheet of the die cuts, but you also have a pattern on the back. Tools, backed by tracks. Here we have the plaid, backed by airplanes. We've got the dots, backed by stripes. This is another sheet of die cuts, cutouts. And this is backed by this grid. We've got aces and spades and hearts and clubs, backed by this really interesting print. I'm not sure how much you can see it, but we'll get in closer in a minute. Now, this is the sheet of stickers, so it's really nice that this also comes. And both sets of products I have used all through these, so there we go. We're going to get started with this one. Now, wingman is a term that's kind of used by men as your buddy that goes with you, that helps you, and is your pal. Okay, there's also brother, grandpa, and dad in this collection, which is where I focused. And another thing I focused on is, as you could tell by those papers, a lot of grays, a little bit of black, white, so very neutral colors. But I wanted to add some pop to these, but in a way that would be fine for masculine. So that's what we have. Now, this is using that pattern that I said is kind of hard to see in the 12 by 12 version, so we'll get in closer. You can see that. In fact, let me show you the full sheet. Maybe that will, there you go. Okay, so it too has a dull finish, which is fine, but it has all of these beautiful patterns on them, so that's really fun. I did trim that, and then I matted it on our gold brush diamond, there we go. And this paper, if you haven't seen this, it's new for us, and it's double-sided. It is a specialty paper, and it has this wonderful luster, and I thought it was really good with this collection. Now, best brother ever, let's see, okay, but it was on this sheet. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. It is on the other sheet then. So this is a cutout, which I also matted. So you can see that there are 3 things that I matted on the gold. The best quality, that is a die cut, and that's actually a tag. And so this is glued down a little bit higher than the center. Brothers by chance, friends by choice, that is a die cut, and I foam taped that on top, just fits nicely. This tag, as I said, is foam taped, and this is using the brown ribbons, and so I fixed that and zotted it in place, so that just did a nice job of kind of doing like an arrangement in the front. And on the inside, I just took the big brother, and that is also a cutout, so you can see it right there, and matted it on the gold diamond, but with a wider border. So here I'm using about 1/8 of an inch. Here I went to 1/4 of an inch, so it has more impact. There is no buddy like a brother. That is a sticker and just overlaps the bottom of it. So simple, but very effective, I think. And it's fun to have that pop of another texture going on, which is, I will tell you, on all 4 cards. I've used something different. Okay, so this is brother, which I thought was great. And I'm fortunate to have a great brother, so that works well. Now, grandpa. Okay, grandpa has a couple of things going on. This, in both cases, these are 5 by 6.5 inch cards. And I did use the stripe, and I covered the card with it. So here's the stripe. And I want to tell you something about that. After I covered it, the edge of it, I didn't like how it looked. It just felt like it didn't quite finish it. So I confess that I took a strip of the stripe, and glued it like so, and just tucked it under right here. So it had a better finish, and that's what you're seeing here. It's a little more even. And so if that is ever an issue for you, that's a way that you can correct it, okay? So like I said, the stripes just didn't quite finish the way I wanted them. Then I went into the die cuts, and this is a frame, obviously, but I wanted to put this this is what the world's greatest grandpa looks like. I wanted to put that, it's a little bit taller than the frame, so I first glued it behind the frame. Then I matted it on black suede, and I thought the black suede just did a really nice job. It is, what the black suede does is it really absorbs all the color. It's just such a strikingly black one. It's more than a black cardstock. It just does a really good job. You can see that there's a printed, that's a dark blue. Let's see here. There's a printed black in here. It's not anywhere near as deep as this black is on the suede. So that's a good way to use it. Okay, so I matted that piece on the black suede, glued it in place, and then this is one of the cutouts. Just like a dad, grandpa, but better. Just like a dad, but better, a grandpa. So I thought that was really nice, and it worked well just overlaying it right there and foam taping it in place. On the inside, I used the black suede. Now this double frame is one of the die cuts. In fact, this is a die cut, and so are these two. And I was tickled that when I saw this and started playing with the die cuts, that these two fit inside the windows. Now you could cut this apart if you wanted to, but I thought it worked really well. So again, this has a wider mat on it, about about 3/8 of an inch. This is a narrower, it looks like a narrower mat at the outside edge, about 1/4 of an inch, excuse me, about 1/8 of an inch. So this is bigger. And so this has been glued down, and I did use extra sticky tape. Whenever I had something like the suede or something that would have texture, I did use the extra sticky tape to attach the two together. And then, but the back of it is fine. You can just glue it straight to your card. Use whatever glue you want. I happen to use glue stick, but what you like. Now this little award is a sticker, and I thought that worked nicely there. You'll notice that I tend to overlap things. I just think that's a better visual look. It gives something a little bit different, a little more interesting to look at. So that's what I did with that. So we've got brother and grandpa all taken care of. Now we need dad. Okay, so here's dad. This is a large cutout, best dad ever. And in this one, I did something. Can you see the gold edge? Well, I used a brand new product that we found. This is a Deco Art gold thin line pen. And what I did is I took the die cut and I placed a ruler on the edge. Now I will suggest, and I'll do it here, that you put this on a craft mat, because you're liable to kind of extend off the edge of your project. How would I know that? Because that's what happened. So we have this in gold and silver. That's all they make them. And you do need to shake them. Can you hear it? That ball running. Oops, and the lid came off. Okay, this is the one that I use at home. So I'm going to just place the ruler. And one thing I found is that you want to do this in one stroke, okay? So just like that. Voila. It just works perfectly, and it dries very quickly. You'll smell kind of the alcohol or whatever is in it, and you just want to have both sides, or however you do this, equal. And so you see how I went off the edge. That's kind of what's going to happen, but it's right there, and I think it's just really neat, really simple. I think you will have fun with things like this, but with also during Christmas and adding some splash to some projects. So that is what I elected to do on everything on this card. So, Best Dad Ever, I did the edges. Original Dad, I did the horizontal areas. And so both of those I inked with the pen. And I did cut a piece. This is the hammered gold. I'm sure you can see the texture right there. It is a paper, but it comes just hammered like this, so it's embossed. We got to have it in gold. We also have it in silver, but it just lends a beautiful bit of texture. And you can see, I think you can see in all of these why I went with a specialty paper, because these are kind of flat looking. They're great and they work well, but they really get punched up with the specialty paper. So I did cut a piece, obviously smaller than the 5 by 6.5. By the way, I have written the directions. They are down below. Just click on the card and you will see the instructions. You can print them off if you would like to do that. So this is here. This is overlapping at the top. Again, more overlapping. It fits perfectly. This actually has Dad at the top of it. I trimmed that off because I already have Dad and Dad. And so then I foam taped this in place. I wanted a little bit more gold, and so these are the thin line dazzles just going right there. And so I've got the original Dad, Best Dad Ever, a son's first hero, a daughter's first love. So I thought that was nice. Going on the inside, okay, I've got a whole bunch more. These are all die cuts. This is another piece of the hammered gold, because you've got an 8.5 by 11, so why not use it? So you want to, in this, I attach this first with the tape. I have to tell you this, before I did that, I'd use the gold pen. So you can see vertical lines on Dad, vertical line on I have the best dad in the world, and then horizontal here, like father, like son, that's going horizontally, just matching the art. That's all I'm doing. So I attach this first with extra sticky tape because I wanted that in the middle. Then I could foam tape Dad in an arch. And then this could be foam taped straight at the bottom. So it's all kind of contained within that space. So that worked well. I hope you'll try the pen. It's really, really fun to use. Okay, I have one more. And this is a circular step card. And very fun, very easy to make. So here we go. And I wanted this, let's see, let me show you. I used the plaid that was earlier, and on the back of it is the airplane. So that wouldn't really work for me on the inside of my card. So I used the cutting die on the plaid, also on the tools, because, you know, let's keep the theme going, and die cut 2 of them, and then glued the tools to the inside of the plaid circular step card. Now, when I glued it, I did need to trim a little bit, so that was just fine. That worked well. Now, and I thought it was fun to have this repair shop because they had many of the stickers. These are stickers here, and this is a I can't remember if it's a cutout. I think it's a cutout. But what I did is I trimmed around this. Now, I really do recommend that when you're cutting anything like this, that you use these, the small bladed scissors. These are probably a little over an inch. I don't know that they're 2 inches, but a good almost 2 inches on the blades, because it will allow you to curve, turn the paper as you hold the scissors straight, and that just is easier to trim anything. So you can start with taking this piece and cutting it out. So Best Old Dads, notice how I cut around the S, and then up here around these, I just left a little bit of the background showing. So that was, and then I glued it to a piece. This is the metallic gold cardstock. We sell it a couple ways. We sell it in a package. I believe there's 4 sheets, and so that works nicely. And so I cut that piece. Again, the measurements are down in the instructions. Glued this, and then the man, the myth, the legend, I foam taped that on top, and I made sure that some gold was showing underneath it. So that was kind of my theme going for this. And you can see that this, I'll turn it over, really extends beyond the fold of the card. And I felt that that was great. I could do anything as long as I made sure that it would fit in my envelopes. These are the 10 envelopes, and it fits perfectly, so that's fine. You just want to make sure that you don't inadvertently put something that's really tall and you can't get it into an envelope, and then it becomes a problem. Okay, so with this, then I went into the stickers, and you remember seeing that, so let me just bring them back. So all of those, you can see that there's the saw, the screwdriver, all kinds of things, hammer over here, and I simply placed them on the gold metallic and trimmed those to leave a little bit of a border. Then I foam taped them to the 2 steps and to the front. So just kind of, you know, going around my message right here. For the inside, I just did one more. I think this is a 2-inch square of the gold. And these are stickers with the screwdriver and the screws right there. And it says, "You are the best father ever." So there you go. And easy to do, simple to do, quick to do. And that was really nice. Now, you do have the whole thing with the Wingman, so you can do that for a friend or anyone who fits that description. When I did those 4 cards, I had plenty of things left. There are 30 die cuts, but I probably had, you know, maybe 15 left. The stickers I barely used, just for the tools, and the papers I had more than half of them left. So it goes a long way. So that's really nice, and I think it's a unique theme also. And I thought it was especially nice to be able to do brother, grandpa, dad, all in one set. So there you go. Now there is a money saver. We've combined the 2 of them together. As always, they're on the right-hand side of your screen. As I said, the instructions are down below. Although this is pretty simple, it's kind of nice to have those exact measurements, you know, like, was this, okay, I know that's 5 inches, but what is this? Is it 4.5? Is it 4 3/4? Just what is it? So that's nice to have too. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we hope that you will like us. We hope that you will subscribe. And then please head on over to paperwishes.com. Certainly the specialty papers, the dazzles, can only be purchased here, and we certainly don't want you to go without. So that would be just perfect. Okay, I do want to thank you for watching. I hope you like this. I'm getting wonderful comments from you that you are finding new information, and it pleases me greatly to be able to share that with you. Okay, so thank you for being here, and thank you most of all for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.